Welcome to the Political Matrix News. Politics, people, local, regional, national news. Political Matrix News keeps you informed. We have the sources, we have the truth from inside the political matrix.
Hello, folks. This is Greg Fink here with Scott Miller. We're the Political Matrix News broadcast. We have been doing campaigns here in the Florida area for the last 30 years. Scott has been working with me, and so we're going to be talking to you guys today about some campaign strategies here regarding the news. And I think the first issue here is about semantics and what in the hell are words meaning nowadays. It looks like the Israelis went in to go ahead and rescue some people from Gaza, and the CNN called that a Hamas release. Why soldiers are dying and people are being riled up and everything and beat up during the process. I don't think that's a release, but CNN and their media world thinks it is.
No, I just think it's bizarre. You know, I guess we live in a world where redefining words is just something that people do to support their narratives. Because at this point,
It is.
you know, how CNN could intellectually, call, there we go, could decide that sending in a hostage rescue team and killing all of the guards. How once there are no more guards to guard the prisoners, now suddenly the guards are releasing the prisoners. I guess by hightailing it out of the country, that's a way of releasing people, I guess.
I mean, the campaigns, you and I have been involved in numerous campaigns where there's a lot of spin involved in campaigns. There's a lot of redefining of terminology here, but CNN is now taking the cake here on basically making something that should sound very peaceful and, building together, like they're like working together, and it's not. This is totally a violent situation. Israel went in there to rescue these hostages, and they lost people doing it. People were injured, people were murdered, and everything else. And killed on both sides. This is not your standard release. And CNN saying it like that is basically putting lipstick on a pig in a very, very big way.
Well, what bugs me about it the most is you have a group of terrorists, and there's no way to call them anything but terrorists.
Exactly.
Who have been literally, murdering Jews for decades, and hiding behind civilians to do it, and people are worried about defending the terrorists. I mean, just about every media that you got there are trying to treat them fairly because the supporting this narrative that the Jews have been are the oppressors. What the Jews are people who are terrified that people just over there in that little section are going to I guess run out of their little area and murder a bunch of their citizens. And everyone thought they were crazy for the longest time, and yet that's exactly what happened. So, I think the Israelis' fears are very well founded, and anyone that says otherwise is just being disingenuous.
It just shows that the media does have this here innate ability here to just connect with anything that's anti-Jew or anything that's anti-American currently. The whole idea that they are still taking the Palestinian side and the Hamas side is just nauseating. This thing has been going on now since October 7th, and we've had several thousand people here die through this process. And Hamas is a terrorist group, and they're not releasing anybody peacefully. And the whole idea that they're confusing or conflating this is just journalism irresponsibility, totally, 100%.
Well, I get that. I get that there might be some innocent Palestinians who are going to get caught up in the shuffle, but the problem is this: if they held elections tomorrow in Gaza, Hamas would win in a landslide.
It would.
So to say that they're innocent Palestinians Well, I mean, sure, there are some, but when the majority, there were innocent Germans in Germany during World War II. There were innocent Japanese in Japan, but they
Right.
got caught in the same crossfire for the same reason. When you're at war, you have to
For
take
war.
care. It is war, and that's what it is. This is a war, and the entire world ganging up on Israel to keep them from defending themselves is ridiculous. But we keep going back to the same thing I always say. This isn't about justice. This isn't about anything other than fundraising. This isn't about improving anyone's life except for a very narrow band of people who are there to, to line their own pockets. And that definitely includes the
Right.
people in Hamas.
Yeah, I mean, because Hamas is nothing but a terrorist organization who's raising millions and billions of dollars through extorting and intimidating nations worldwide, and that's their MO, and that's how they operate. I mean, it's kind of interesting. A lot of people say, well, Hamas builds churches, they build schools, they build streets, they build post offices, they make the people feel safe. I'm like, yes, they do that so they can use them as human shields whenever they go and decide to go ahead and attack whoever Jewish area they want to attack next. And that's the reason why they're buying the people. They're buying their love. They're buying their allegiance. While at the same time, they don't give a damn about using them for collateral damage.
Well, they're not. The thing is, they're not trying to protect them either. They're not
No, they're
buying
not.
much of anything. What they're doing is they're collecting all of the money, using some of
Exactly.
it for public services, and then using the rest of it to build their terrorist infrastructure.
And build their
And
army.
and they don't have to threaten Iran and threaten all these you know militant Islamic states, because those guys are sitting back watching this like it's a football game,
Right.
enjoying every minute of them embarrassing the Jews.
Yep.
It's
And
like, I mean, it's truly like a worldwide spectator sport for the people who hate Jews.
and still, I mean, even at this late day of the whole debacle over there, CNN is still getting it wrong. And the fact
Well,
that
they're not
nobody
trying to get it right.
what
They're not trying to get it right because
they're not trying to get it right. And that's the entire spectacle of the whole issue, is that this is deprived media, and depraved media rather, not deprived. This is a depraved media outlet who is doing nothing to help forward the benefits of the Jewish people, or America, or freedom, or truth at all, and they're basically furthering the story of terrorism and terrorists.
Well, that's because their
Wrong.
interest, the interest of the media and the interest of Hamas are aligned, and the media is not. I'm not saying the media is in on killing the Jews. What the media
No.
is in on is creating an enormous controversy, because when there's an enormous controversy, eyeballs are riveted to the
Ratings.
screens. It's just like here in Florida, whenever there's a hurricane in the Gulf, everyone's eyes are riveted to the Weather Channel, because we need this up-to-date information, and the Weather Channel, they'll tell you all the possibilities even when they know which ones are not the probabilities, because creating strife and keeping people's eyes glued to the TV is what their interest is. And if
Right.
the entire media world was against Hamas and was telling this true story out there, it wouldn't be much of a story. It'd just be a bunch of victory laps of Israel going over and cleaning these douchebags out of Gaza. But because the media won't let them do it, they're perpetuating this thing just so that Hamas can keep fundraising and the media can keep selling ads.
In a world of clickbait, where clickbait is ruling everything, it's sad to see CNN continually going down the path of. I mean, they used to be a really good news organization a long time ago, but they are really going down that path quickly. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here for this here segment here of the Political Matrix broadcast, and we'll be back. We're going to be talking about some polls here with the elections here coming up, and we'll take a look at those. We'll be back.